Welcome to the Protector Culture Podcast with Jimmy Graham. Jimmy is a veteran U.S. Navy SEAL, a former protective officer for the CIA Global Response Staff, founder and CEO of the Able Shepherd Program, a husband and father of 4, and a personal friend of mine. Now here's Jimmy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Protector Culture Podcast with Jimmy Graham. I'm your host, Jimmy Graham, your BK 001051. Yeah. Cool, man. It's been a minute. We're catching up. We got a lot going on. We've been posting a lot, but as far as a sit down talking to you, it's been a minute.
It has been a month.
It's been a month.
August, now it's September. All
wow.
right.
So, been good, man?
Yes, very good. Very good.
Traveling?
Been doing a bit of traveling, and the wife has been out of country for a month.
Yes.
So that's different. Get to welcome her home tomorrow night, so I'm looking forward to that.
Good, good, good.
Get her back to the States.
Awesome. Get Jenny, appreciate that. Yeah, I can appreciate you having her back. I can't even imagine. This is crazy when you leave. When you used to, so I used to deploy, like obviously military 6 months and 2 months for GRS and all that kind of stuff. I can't imagine just, and you know, you don't have kids in the house anymore, but leaving them for a week. Mm-hmm. I'm just counting the days, man. So yeah, totally appreciate that. All right, so as we're filming this, it's still September, probably air in October, but National Preparedness Month, right? So I've been banging stuff out all month, putting stuff out about, you know, safety in schools. We've been talking about the defend modules. We've been talking about changing the batteries in your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide thing, putting a jump box in your truck so you can jump, and video of that. What else?
Candles.
The candles, emergency candles, having those, we actually needed them, and it was pretty awesome. I was like, yeah, we got the stuff, you know, like I'm geeking out because we haven't touched them in 5 years, but we needed an actual emergency candles, those liquid ones that I posted. What's the other one? Family trust. If we haven't, we need to get that out here for the next couple of days. Is that I posted a quick post about, I actually did this. I hired, and it was Muir and Potter here in town. I know Michael Muir takes care of me. I trust the dude. And we sat down and built all the stuff out, all the questions, the finances, if you died, what if, who gets what, all that kind of stuff. And I got a bunch of stuff, but certain things I would like Christian to have. I would like Rebecca to have that. It means something for Sarah. I want Eden to have, all that kind of stuff. All of it, if I die, goes to Rachel, right? That's the deal, and vice versa. But what if it's both of us?
Yeah.
And that's just a hard reality for some folks that they've lived. They got family squabbling, you got all that stuff, right? So going through and setting all that stuff up is a big deal. And I was like, I just lived it. Go take care of, this guy took care of me. I trust him. Go to him, talk to him, and we put that out there. So that's, Michael Muir here. Hit us up if you want his contact information. But it was something that I absolutely, the peace of mind after getting it done, cost a little bit of money, but getting it done, you're like, they're good.
Now you have a plan.
It's documented. Plan. It's a documented plan. Here's the big thing. Keeping Uncle Sugar out of your pocket, right? Mm-hmm. Putting Rachel through a bunch of stuff to get money that's rightfully hers, that just ticks me off enough to just do it anyway.
Yep.
So that's the first part of the conversation. I also like that he's old school and he pulls out a pencil and the yellow legal pad and starts drawing pictures. He's like, boom, boom, boom. Not good, right? Boom, boom, boom. Takes this guy out. This is what happens. She gets money. This is a trust. They call them. They call me. And it's all written down. This is protected. Yeah. I like it, right? So that works. So in that,
before you go down that road,
please.
What was your most important preparation in September?
Brother, the way you asked
no,
that,
it's a loaded question.
I know, I'm like totally like, oh no.
Have you been saved?
Have I been saved?
That was the topic of the video, and you guys were off.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah. That morning I woke up and I'm talking about this preparedness stuff with, preparedness month, and it's like, I've got all this stuff, Jimmy, I'm good. So you got more stuff than everybody. You're going to live through the apocalypse and then die and go to hell.
Yeah.
If you accepted the Lord Jesus Christ into your heart and asked, that you be saved for eternity. And then I walked through in my Bible that checklist of talking through, here's the context verses out of Romans, 3 of them from Romans and one more, and one out of John. Just saying what this is. For context, here's the truth. No, the truth will set you free. Here's the truth. If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord, you'll be saved. That God sent his son to the earth and he died. All of this is say, hey, are you still in that? Yes, then be ready to lead that person to Christ and seal the deal. Yep. Remember that term, by the way, seal the deal. God gave me that. I talked to another guy, and it was another seal, and I was like, if I got a bunch of seals together and did some kind of engagement, all focused on basically lock it in your eternity, the guy's like, I'm in. Call another guy, I'm in too. we'll see what happens. So we'll just leave it at that, right? Nothing more important. All this silliness is all secondary to that, right? So I just said this to this group today, and you felt the energy from the room, man. It was hot. These guys came in from Pennsylvania. I've known them for a long time. They came in and did some training. Just travel for it. I've been out there twice. They've been out here many times. And to be able to tell people, if you end up in the gates of hell with your family in tow, they say, Dad, how did we end up here? If you've got one bit of integrity, you have to look them in the eye and say, we led you here. Me and your mom led you here. Like that's the deal, right? That stings. But men don't need back rubs anymore. They don't need to be coddled. They need straight talk. There's nothing more important than that on this earth. That's your job, by the way. So that's horrible. Kind of thinking about that there are people. It doesn't do anybody any favors to say, no, I think Uncle so-and-so's in. You know he's in hell. You know he is. And just say it out loud, right? Or make some comfortable thing up about Valhalla. No, he's dead, and he's in hell, and you'll never see him. Okay? But there are people living, and you owe it. If you're going to talk preparedness at all, even a little bit, you need to talk about being prepared for real, right? And the comfort that goes along with that, man, I get to talk to the sage, and he's at a different stage of his life, and he's got medical challenges and all that stuff. That guy, you talk about being grounded and saying, hey, man, let's talk about real stuff.
Yeah. Let's
talk about, like, hey, man, we've all, once you've looked behind the curtain and you've seen the dude pulling the levers, it all boils down to, I'm going to have, have I told you this? I'm going to have a guy come and talk to our group. Just met him today.
Okay.
4,700 feet. He's got a student in tow. Something goes sideways on the aircraft.
Oh, no.
This death dive spin move where he is absolutely certain he's going to die. He's going to die, right? He's apologizing because he feels like he just killed this kid. This guy's talking to Jesus and thinking, about his sister and his mom and all that stuff. And they somehow, they know how.
Yeah.
They survive. Like it's like they hit an embankment at just the right angle, rips the engine off. They're both sitting there looking at each other like, get out, it's going to blow up the engine. He goes, wait, there is no engine, it's over there. And the guy got like 6 stitches on his shin.
Oh, it's amazing.
Unbelievable, right? Mm-hmm. So that, but it makes you focus on what's important. We just sent guys out in the mountains with a pen and paper to talk about, with some prompting questions. If you had 30 seconds to talk to your family, you're going to die. What are you going to say? You only got 30 seconds, you're bleeding out.
Yeah.
That makes you think, right? And then you say it out loud and record it. You go, that was a minute. Trim it down. Trim it down. What goes over 30 seconds doesn't get said. Things start, the important stuff, the cream rises to the top really quick when you challenge something like that, right? Yeah. Now some wheels are turning. Now we get to what's important, right? So anyways, this preparedness thing, it's very, very important. That's the most, thank you for thinking of that, by the way. And we do want to have some, once that's secure, I think it is responsible to have certain things. Now, well, you got all these guns out. The more that I look into this room when we start talking about a crazy year, which is 2024, right? I find myself saying this quite a bit to people that I really care about. They just, we become subject matter experts, and I mean that. Not a little bit. We are the subject matter experts in Denver, I would say nationally, on protection, on exactly what does it mean. And everybody says that, but we can show you. I'll take that Pepsi challenge all day, every day, because this is what we do all the time, right? Back around the SEAL teams and CIA, I haven't seen anything like this for civilians. I just haven't. Not to mention that our focus is winning souls into eternity and making disciples that do the same. Period. That's a deal. I say you can't be great at this if you don't care about people. You just can't, right? You can kind of check the boxes and make people cool shooting and make them good at jiu-jitsu and do all that stuff, but if you don't care, you'll never be great, right? And what does great even mean? Like, I'm looking to be pleasing through his lens, not some dude that writes reports about tactical guys. Anyways, so if it means that you're protectors and we're talking about what is protection, then I would start with this. It's self-defense. Now stand in front of my kid. If I had to boil it down, I'd be like, can you defend yourself? Yes or no? No. Then you're not a protector. Can you defend yourself? Yeah. Now I'll stand in front of my kid. Now that's physical, and that's the sexy thing that gets people into the building. They're like, I want to learn how to do X. Come on in. So if it was physical as your number one, mental, health would be number two, and then spiritual would be number three. The second you walk in the door, I'm going to propose something different. Yep. I'm going to propose definites and maybes. You definitely, when I say protection against what? I would say destruction. Destruction, yeah, mentally, physically, spiritually. But that's not the order.
No.
The physical got you in. Then we flip it over and we say, here are the definites. The definites are you will have to defend your children from mental destruction. Spiritual destruction, maybe physical. You may have to use something like this in your life, probably not. That's just the truth, just probably not. So in tactics, we call it definites and maybes. The definite, the guy shooting down the hall. The maybe, just something else that might happen. So the definite is that mental and spiritual. You're definitely going to have to defend yourself, your mental state, and your spiritual welfare eternally, right? Definite, right? But we don't spend a lot of time there, right? Suicide rates are through the roof. Yeah. It's out of control with young people, right? They're mentally being attacked, and it's working. It's working for now. I know we win in the end, but it's our job, our calling, our honor, and duty to get points on the board, meaning souls into eternity. God comes in and says, never mind, I win, right? So that's what he's granting us. So that's mental well-being, healthy enough to like not kill yourself and live a life knowing the truth, and that's sustainable, and that creates a nation, right? Spiritual, meaning that church attendance has fallen away in some cases. More people are getting active, actually, is what I see in the church. But now churches are popping up that aren't teaching the truth, right? So it's got to be based in truth, right? So that's very, very important. This stuff is a maybe. But once you cover those bases, and someone's going to hurt your loved ones, you do have a right. I believe biblically, I believe legally, I believe it's your duty to defend your loved ones, period. So then that leads to another question of, okay, you keep saying this, I know it's a funky year, I know we can still get stuff, then what would you say to get? And I would say, well, there's 3 things you need. I go back and forth in my mind. I'd be interested to hear from you. I'm going to buy one gun in the world. Is it that one or that one?
For me personally,
pistol or rifle? Yeah.
I'd buy the pistol.
¿Por qué?
For me, it is more portable.
Yep.
It can be with me in more scenarios.
Yep.
It can be on my body at all times. Throw on a sport coat, throw on a baggy shirt. And I don't know, I think in general, I might be a tad more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
The rifle really, really extends your reach, has a lot more power behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's bulkier. I know you've driven through streets with it in the side of your seat. That might be awkward in Denver, maybe not overseas.
Yeah.
But that would be my reasoning.
And it's such a tough one, and I don't know, I just told somebody, if you're going to buy one, buy that one, which means a Glock 19. Why? Just because so many professionals have carried them all over the world, everybody's leaning that direction. I really am not a big fan of, it's not easy to work with Glock. They just don't play nice with others, whatever. They're just the big boy in the block. They've earned it. Everybody else is mimicking their stuff and trying to make it, but they still need some customization. You buy one out of the box, you don't have to do a lot to them. Once you do it, but it must be done. Yeah. Undercuts must be done. Extended controls must be done, right? All of that. If you want to polish the trigger, if you want to enhance the barrel, you can, but you don't need to. And you become lightning and deadly accurate with a fairly stock gun. Agreed?
Totally agree.
So,
out to probably, I don't know, for me consistently, 30 yards without blinking, 50 yards, probably have to pay attention.
Yeah, we have guys go out there and do 100 yards, and then some of the guys can ping consistently at 200 yards. But that max effective range of a pistol is typically 25 yards as stated. Can shoot well beyond that. I'd say with that red dot 50. I think.
And my house is not that big, so I'm covered.
So you're good to go, right? Now here's the deal, though. Because I said the same thing to somebody. It's like, hey, you're going to get one, but go buy this pistol specifically. We'll help you set it up. Because we don't sell guns, by the way. We don't sell guns directly. We indirectly sell them, meaning we know where to get them. We know how to customize them. We do a concierge service. We can help you out. But it means this. Glock 19 is big enough to be a combat gun, but it's also small enough to conceal. Yeah. Right? It's got 15-round magazine, which is plenty. You can extend the mags out to as long as you want to go, because Glock makes them kind of universal. You can go a longer, but not shorter, obviously, right? So you can get crazy with it. You put a drum. I've seen these drums. Not necessarily whatever, but it's just a fantastic gun that I have carried all over the world, right? And it's enough gun for pretty much anything. Now, with a t-shirt on, it gets a little bulky, it gets a little heavy, right? So daily carry, I've kind of leaned towards the 48. I know you've got some custom work on yours. This is actually the Able Shepherd custom gun that's produced, for us by Danger Close. So Danger Close does this work for us. They make it not so boxy, so they round it out. They put the Able Shepherd logo. They put the work we want on the slide for a better grip. Trim it down a little bit, but leave the last lug so you can get that positive grab, when it's wet and all that kind of stuff. So it's a fantastic gun, but it doesn't need a lot of work. You don't need a custom gun, okay? Now, flip that over. If you're gonna have one custom thing in your life, it should be a gun. So like, you don't need a custom gun. You can upgrade a Glock and you're just money and you'll hand it to your kid. It's just that good.
I think one thing about the Glock that's very important is superbly easy to use. You don't have to think much about it. And you can't say guaranteed to work, but it's hard to make those fail.
The reliability is off the charts, right?
Yeah.
We've messed around with some other guns. People give us guns, we test guns, we do all that kind of stuff. But I won't put one on my hip unless it's reliable. That's number one. I don't want to hear about a break-in period. Mine's so good, you got to break it and try. No. Okay, whatever. Show me. And we run a business and we see guns fail all the time. Yeah. Not that guy. Right? So what we did is the reason why we went this. These have all been cleared, by the way, if you know what that means. So basically, we've all checked it, we've all cleared it, but it means that they don't do anything that would hinder the performance. Not one thing. It's kind of they make it sexy. Cool. All right. If you're down with that, again, you don't need it, but I want one because it's cool, right? And I got it, and it's all tricked out, and I can do things with that gun that I can't do with any other gun. Why? Because it's mine. I customize it to me. This one's actually the shotgun. Mine actually has a little other things done to it that I just prefer. I tell you what, I can't recommend. If you don't do undercuts, you're just wrong. You know what I mean? I hate talking like that, but if you don't do Glock, fix your triggers, man. Your trigger guard. Right. The thing is a huge block. That Glock knuckle that rubs everybody and ticks everybody off, it's just not a thing anymore. So just get rid of it. Any skilled, gunsmith can take that down to the way it was supposed to be. It should have been built, and it's going to feel better. It changes the gun. Period. Yeah. Right. So the reason I would say that I struggle with that is like say, hey, your pistol's job is to get you to your rifle. Yeah. That's always been the thing. So rifles win wars. Pistols don't. Yeah. If it gets really, really bad, you need a rifle. So I would tell people this. Many times do I meet people and they say, Jimmy, I've got over 100 guns. I've kind of got a problem. I'm a collector. And I'm like, they're all awesome. I'm like, roger that. Here's the problem. I don't know how to use any of them.
Big problem.
You messed up your priorities, brother. Yeah. So, obviously, you've got the means, so start investing in training. If you don't, start selling guns, right? Yeah. And get enough money, because training it's the best investment you'll ever make. Start with 2 guns. Don't buy a third. Buy 2 guns. Buy a pistol and a rifle. Jimmy, which one should I buy? Buy a Glock 19 and buy a Daniel Defense DD M4. Mine's a V7, right? Whatever. It's a little bit, obviously I got a suppressor, I got that can pinned and welded, so it's fixed, it's like that forever. It mounts to my belt, that's why we've got this match point, I think it is, attachment on there. Trigicon MRO, that is basically a fast reflex sight that's fantastic, and I will own 200 yards and in, right? And I'll do it quickly, yeah. Right? A fixed rear by Daniels, and then a pop-up Magpul front sight that just needs one hand. It means if I look in there and forgot to turn it on, one move of my thumb and I'm back into sights, and then I come over and click it on. Right? But if I need to shoot, it's going to be pumping my thumb real quick. We put a rubber grommet here because we also strike with our guns. So having that right there and not get the cheese grater on there, just a little rubber ladder. I forget who makes that, probably Magpul.
Yeah, that's cool. The one I have is a Magpul ladder.
S-fold, our custom sling, because it's a minimalist sling and it must be a single point. Why? Because the way that it hangs, some of the movements we can't do with a 2-point sling. Well, I'm going to adjust it. You don't need to adjust it. You don't even need your sling. 200 yards and in, you need it to hold on when you transition to lanyard it to you so you don't throw it in the gravel. I need to go right shoulder, left shoulder, under a car, transition, strike, do all that kind of stuff. It answers the mail. That's it. So getting that set up 200 yards and in is the deal. If you live out in the country and you're going to 400 yards because you have
acreage.
More acreage, it's going to be the same gun, a little different setup. It would be the 16-inch barrel with glass. Glass, I mean, we go with a Vortex. It's great. It's not high end. It's not low end. It's awesome. It's quality, and you can afford it. The one thing that I have pulled off of this one is the flashlight. So we put a flashlight on it. Okay. This one, without the can, would be known as the Hefe, my call sign, Hefe. The Groot would be the patrol one for a little more legs. That's going to own 400 yards and in. You own it. You get to, and we train people up to doing that. Okay, so now there's the tools. What's the third gun? Once you master these, means you know how to do it. You can control your space. You can do all that stuff. If I transition, I pull the pistol and do all that and the tactics that go along with it. Once we get these, what do you think the third gun should be?
Well, I know I have my preference. And that would be a little more reach, which would be perhaps a 308 or a 6.5 Creedmoor. I think there's an argument for a shotgun. I'm not so sold on that one as you said, okay, I'm going to put my kid behind you. I got a lot of pellets going a lot of different directions. That makes me a little nervous. I know where one bullet's going.
Yeah.
So let's see.
So my vote, everybody goes to shotgun or they go out to the long. And as you know, we're coming, so we've got, the Hefe package going to the Able Shepherd Center, 200 yards and in, protective in nature, moving through town. 400 yards and in, now we're talking more Navy SEAL, patrol, kind of own that space, 400 in. Can definitely do past that, but testable, 400 yards and in. Next step will be Overwatch. That means 7.62 or 6.5 Creedmoor, still an AR platform, better glass, 600 yards body target, closer, smaller like heads, and even portions of heads, right? Yeah. That's what we'll be doing from elevated positions, from moving, whatever. But the third gun, I would say, thinking about this, and recently this has come to light, is I would say right now, first gun, I agree. This guy right now is what I grab in the bump of the night in the house. Once you leave the house, now we're talking this kind of territory. And if they were going to buy one for their life today, on this day of September 25th in the year of our Lord 2024, I'm going to go with this guy. If you're only going to buy one gun in the world, that guy. I can use it in the house. It's a little crowded. You can't hide it. When it's martial law and you got to whatever, don't be carrying guns, you're going to want that. But that guy's going to get you out of a pickle. Like I said, pistols don't win wars, right? So if the thing gets really, it's not a bump in the night. It's they're coming. Who's they? Whoever, right?
D, all the above.
That guy. And something recently happened. And I don't need to go into it, but it was in the mountains and all that. There was many people and they were armed and just whatever happened. And I realized if I have that, everything changes. Because if I've got that, if this goes sideways and I've got that in this wooded area, I win. And I don't care if there's 12 of you. I still win, right? If I've got that and they've got that, I'm outgunned, right? Because of my skill set and just what I know about what I know, it's a game changer. Third gun, 22.
Yeah, I was just thinking
suppressed 22, right? Look at me. Every family should own a suppressed 22 AR, right? I really, really like the Smith & Wesson M&P series, the 1522.
1522.
The pistol version with a can is a riot. It is silent, quieter than a BB gun with the subsonic rounds. It is such an amazing training tool for women, children, men, people that are a little scared of the bang and all that stuff. It takes all the scary out of guns. So I've got a Glock 44, Glock 44, which is a 22. It's the 19 caliber, chambered in 22. Thing doesn't kick. So you introduce people to this, the fundamentals of marksmanship, with a 22 pistol, 22 rifle. Once they start holding groups and all the mystery's gone, would you like to shoot my 9mm? Boom, 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 and they're right there in the chest. Would you like to shoot my suppressed 5.56? Boom, 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 and it's not scary anymore. It's just a 1, 2, 3 get you to 10. Not like start at 9, back up, and now I can never get 3. You know what I mean? It's like I scared you so bad you'll never shoot good.
And another piece I've heard you say is keep it in the family. So it's a Glock 9mm, a Glock 22. Controls are the same, functions are the same.
Yes.
The way they present is the same. The AR platform.
Yeah.
Safeties, charging handles, identical.
So with my daughter, when she's running around, if she's running around the Ruger 1022, awesome, great gun, right? She's plinking away, rotary disc mag, little Bushnell scope, whatever. That's all fun, but when she's using that M&P, the AR platform, she's training for that, right? So there's another thing going on. When she's doing the mag in, smack it, lean forward, pop, 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 mag out, mag in, smack it, every time she does that, I'm training her for real stuff. Why? Because little bodies get bigger, right? And I need to know how to use that. Why? Because that's the one that can save her life. Now, 22 is also lethal, right? So that could take a life. If it needed to be in that protector role, and that's what you had, it is whisper quiet. But if things got really bad, and everybody knows, most people know this, 22 is a survivalist round. 22 will be around when everybody else is out of ammo. 22 that's quiet grabs you a bird or a squirrel or a deer if you shoot it in the eye. I got sniper buddies. They use 22 because they're that good. And they shoot them in the eye, right? Cool, whatever. Just make sure you don't do it recklessly and harm an animal. But it's a deadly round that I could hand to my young son, my daughter, my wife, and all that kind of stuff. And I get out of that area and be like, hey, switching up, right? Now there's a meal and you didn't tell the world, hey, here I am, right? So I think it's a fantastic purchase. They don't cost much. A can's probably $300, maybe a little more, now that they're ready, whatever. The weight has come way, way down. You got to do the $200 tax stamp, so you're talking about $500, $600 in the can. Less than that for the rifle. put an inexpensive, we're going to offer this, by the way, at some point, but not right now. The optic, we're going to go with an etch glass. So instead of, so if the light doesn't come on or it's out of batteries or whatever, I still got I got something to aim with. Okay, so we talked about this stuff. By the way, where do your bullets go? This is the new chest rig that we've got. We have worked tirelessly, mostly Parker, by the way, meaning Jimmy's got ideas, Parker's got to make them real, and then he works with Alex over at TacPack, and they come up with something, right? So this is what we've got right now, and I'm super excited about it, and I love that what's up, Crook and Shield? Did you see that?
Oh, I did not.
Oh, it's a nice touch. All right, Alex, I see what you're doing. Cool. So removable panels for padding. This is going to be double, double, double. I was trying the sleek speed one. Anytime you see that, you better see this. It's like, hey man, where's your bullets? Like I said, in a Home Depot bucket. Brother, go get your stuff together, load your mags, put them on your chest, and be ready to move out, right? We specifically want it to be open in the front for breathability, and if you got to post up on the grass for 2 hours, lay on the ground. Undo it, lay on the ground, not on your mags, right? Because it changes your point of aim, all this other stuff. Super sleek, super awesome. These panels, click, 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 undoes them. I can just pull the pad off, have a pre-built panel for a speed rig, single mags. Load out with double mags. Just pull that one panel off, and that's my motorcycle gear. Pull it off again, and that's my hunting gear.
Very modular.
Just very modular. These don't cost as much, so just buy them and leave them built out. Right? So does it need a bino case? Does it need a beacon? Does it need my pistol mounted here? And does it need beacon and first aid over here for my motorcycle stuff? Roger that. It's got one, I love modular, just love it. Okay, so here's the important part. What led us here was talking about this. This is called a 2 in 10 card. Hit us up, text the Able Shepherd number for the, why is the number, oh here it is, small. If you want one of these, and we'll send it to you. Your name and address, send it, and we'll make sure you get one of these. Okay, and I'll read the number. 720-775-5674. I'll read that again in a minute. So, Stand in the Gap initiative we stood up in 2020 because it was a weird year. 2024, here we are again in a weird year. Weird, around an election. Are you prepared? Now, I know that people get weird around preparation, and I know some pretty weird preppers, right? Again, if it's based in truth, if it's based in, what's glorifying to God, all that stuff, I think it's responsible. At some point, we're talking about lean years, fat years, and there is a responsibility to care for your family. And that doesn't mean living literally from, if the lights shut off, the water stopped, and you couldn't get food, you'd die in 3 days, that's irresponsible, right? It's a negligence if you're the leader of a family, right? So I think back to, instead of prepared, if that word bothers you, we call it root cellar mentality. What does it mean? Root cellar mentality, my great-grandparents had a root cellar, right? So if there was a blizzard, weird, in Denver, very likely, they're not stabbing the person for the generator at Walmart. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a little bit silly. You knew it was coming. Why aren't you ready, right? So could you, or you're, Virginia Beach, it was hurricanes, and everybody's like, oh, we need this, and I'll kill you for it, right? Do you have food for 30 days, your household, including your pets? Do you have 50 gallons of water that's treatable, that could be drinkable? Turn on the tap, nothing comes out. You're in trouble if you don't have water. That'll kill you, that'll kill you. Yeah, days. And what is it? Is it 4 minutes? I've heard it different ways. So it's like, what is it? 4 weeks without food, right? 4 days without water would be deadly. 4 minutes without air, and I say 4 seconds without a gun, right? And that's actually being a little bit
generous.
Could be one, right, in that certain situation. A family medical kit for trauma, everyday injuries, and personal medications. A personal firearm with 1,000 rounds of ammunition. It sounds like a lot, Jimmy. Some people are like, that's it, I got like whatever. I'm just saying, as a bare minimum, get a firearm, 1,000 rounds. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Just do it, right? Thank me later. A backup plan for heat, fireplace, wood stove, whatever. If you're on electricity and that goes out, crazy how the government wants to make everything electric. Electric can turn off. That's power, right? But if you've got a wood-burning stove, if you've got things, propane, all that kind of stuff, consider it. A backup plan for cooking, outside grill, backpacking stove with fuel, etc. Even having I've got a potbelly stove I've never put together. It's a little potbelly stove that I could route and tube it outside of my basement. Is my house gonna be 70 degrees? No. 70 degrees? No. But in the winter, heat rises and it's not gonna be -5, right? Because I got a family. So just be thinking about that kind of stuff. 15 gallons of auto fuel. The best way to store that, the safest way to store that's in a third vehicle. If you have a third vehicle, if you're blessed to have a third vehicle, keep the tank full, always, right? It's just safer. If you do have canisters, make sure it's ventilated, your garage is ventilated, make sure that you're not causing an issue, right? And put additive in there to stabilize that fuel. Diesel needs a conditioner, gas breaks down a little bit quicker, so that needs an additive to stabilize it. A pre-packed overnight, and it's not expensive. You can get it at any auto store, it'll show you, put per gallon, put this much in, and then you're good, it'll last way longer. Pre-packed overnight bag, my kids have camping bags that double as, if we need to leave here in an emergency, grab that bag. Why? Because it's 10 degrees, and if you all have your own sleeping bag, we're in a much better state. Got a jacket, got a sleeping bag, got a headlamp, got all this stuff. It's already ready. The other cool part about it, you guys want to camping? You guys want to go camping? Yeah, when? Like now. Like right now. Like grab your stuff. Get a change of clothes, get in the truck, right? It usually takes us a long, long time to get ready for camping, right? Create an evacuation plan for your family. If you need to leave your house, where you're going. One, if it's on fire, where are you going? That's going to be close. Two, things just went sideways. That's far. Align with friends as we have. If we need to leave, we're leaving town or we're going to, right? Have that spot, maybe even stage some stuff there. Create a folder that holds a copy of all your important documents. There's documents that say I was in the military. There's documents that say I have insurance. There's documents that say I'm entitled to investments. There's documents. There's a Bible that's this big, and it says, may God protect you. It's got a metal front, and my grandfather wore it over his heart in World War II. His mom wrote in it, right? I can't replace that. That's in a waterproof bag, little inexpensive knapsack kind of ones that cost less than 20 bucks. Yeah. That leaves with me if we're never coming back to this house, right? Let's see, have a cash reserve stored at your house. How much? Well, that just depends on what you can do, right? Backup plan for communication with others in your circle. We now have, if my cell phone doesn't come on, and neither does yours and neither does yours, that way at Highlands Range, that way in Castle Rock, we have invested in commercial grade repeaters that run 24/7. Yeah. We have the radios that can get on and get, what's up boys? What's going on? Phone's not working? Cool, this is going crazy. Meet me at the park, let's figure this out. Who needs what? And then do it, right? So practice with that stuff, plan with it, have your community have all that. Possess the skills and knowledge necessary through qualified training to safely and effectively use all of this stuff, right? So if you can't use it, you're like, and I say, if you get a radio, buy two. That's pretty lonely, like, anyone? Hello? Anyone? Hello? Right, buy two. Hey, you take this one, let's mess with it. Hey, if we're gonna go, I know we can text. If we're going on a trip in the mountains, I'll give you this one, I've got this one. Hey guys, you wanna stop and use the bathroom? Every time you touch it, you're training. Every time you lock the screen and can't unlock it, you figure out how, you're training. Every time you pick it up, you realize the battery's dead and needs to go in the trash, replace it, right? So just knowing this stuff and messing with it is essential. You can buy these, not know how to use them. We already covered that. I got all these guns, don't know how to use them. Well, then they're decorations, man. Yep. Like it actually might be. I tell people, in some cases, if you have some of these, if you have firearms and you don't know how to use them, you're the biggest threat your family's ever going to see. Yep. Not Al-Qaeda, not the boogeyman, not Hamas. It's dad's jacketing with a gun, he pumps one through the floor and then kills somebody watching TV. It happens. I get all this stuff. People send me this data. You had no business with that thing, right? Okay, so that's all preparedness stuff. Here's the most important part. Okay, we call this 2 and 10 card for a reason. This little red thing's your house. And you can't read this probably from there. This says 2 minutes away. And it says name and number. So you got name and number of 2 people that are 2 minutes away from your home. Here we go, listen, that you trust with your kids. Below that, 10 name and numbers that goes on your fridge to let your kids know here are 10 people that are 10 minutes away that I trust with my kids, right? So if something goes bad and the police aren't picking up, call them and they will be here. Just tell them what's going on, they will be here, right? Do what they say, I trust them, that's why they're on here. You honor people by putting their name on this card. They honor you by asking, can I put you on my card, right? So this thing has happened, it's already happened in 2020. People picked up the phone, called 911, and no one's coming.
Nobody there.
Why? No. Not because they don't love you, not because they're not good cops, they're busy. They got so much going on, they don't have any resources left for you. Yep. And that's a big reminder of whose job is it to protect your family. It's your job. It's your job. It's like our job to do it, right? We can delegate it, and if they're not busy, then they may come and help. But if they're busy, you got no one, except for me, right? So that's always the deal. So it's not to get to them, you got to go through me. It's to get to them, you got to go through us. That's a better plan. If you don't have 12 people, start being nicer. No, it's true. Like if you don't know 12 people of this caliber, check you. Like that's just the truth, man. Start doing barbecues, start going out, start doing stuff in the mountains, all that, and then pick your friends better, right? So if you don't trust them with your kids, man, why are you friends? You're not friends anyway, right? So making sure that you can do that, and then that on the knowing how to use it, that leads us over to this card. right? And this is the easiest thing. This is the best card that we've got. I just sent it out of here with everybody who just left. And I don't know why the NRA made it so hard to shoot guns. It's the easiest thing in the world once you know the rules, but they made the rules so convoluted. 3 safety rules. Here they are. Muzzle discipline, finger discipline, pass-through potential. What? Jimmy, are you making up rules? No, I just renamed them. So you would know them as keep your gun pointed in a safe direction at all times. Muzzle discipline. Cool. Finger discipline. Keep your finger up. We added up. It was keep your finger outside the trigger guard until you're ready to fire. I'd say keep your finger up and outside the trigger guard until you're ready to fire, because that's your safety. Everyone deserves a half-second assessment. If you jump too quick, you shoot your daughter, you shoot my daughter, you shoot the librarian, right? That's not good. Pass-through potential means know your target and consider its background. What does this round have the potential to pass through and hurt my child, right? If you understand that bullets are made of lead, they're moving really fast, they don't want to stop. They're not going to stop for that glass. They're not going to stop for that drywall, and they're not going to stop for that dude. So make sure if you're firing, you know that your family and your loved ones aren't behind there. Make sense? So that seems pretty cut and dry and easy. You're like, whoa, whoa, Jimmy, you missed one, because the first one says this. Been an NRA instructor my whole life, and I know this. If I know one thing, that the first one is treat all firearms, what is it?
As if they're loaded.
As if they're loaded, even after ensuring they're not. What does that mean to a new guy? Yeah. When he pulls out the gun, he's like, okay. Like, dude, treat it like it's loaded. I've never done this. Yeah. I don't know what this means. Like, that's useless to a new person. Don't assume anything. That one we pulled off here. I don't think it's bad when you're talking to professionals, but don't assume anything, because you're going to assume the guy knows what he's talking about and he's pointing at your mouth, right? Yeah. So that one comes off the card. Do we lose anything? No, because the 3 do it. Yeah. Like, you can't do that without you. Like, when you do that, it means, hey, what's that first one that's complicated? What's it mean? The next 3. So just pull it off, right? So I don't think it's necessary. Now you flip it over and you say, okay, 7 fundamentals of marksmanship. This is with that pistol, that's with the rifle, it's with that .22, it's with the shotgun, it's with the bazooka. It just means this. What are the fundamentals of marksmanship? It means posture, grip, breathing, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger control, follow through. That's it. So those dudes that are doing sub 5 3-3s, same 7. People that are splitting business cards, same 7. People that are with their pistol, shooting out at 200 yards and ping and steel, same ones, right? So I just told the class today, if you have a problem, you're shooting good and then something goes sideways and you go, hey, Jim, I need some help. Cool. You can pay me some money. I'll come in for an hour. I'll bring some dummy rounds. I'll bring this card. You'll say, man, let me take a look at you. And you'll shoot. And I'll go, huh. Put the card down, I'll go, okay, your posture looks good, your grip looks good, your breathing looks good. Sight alignment, I don't know, I can't see it. Sight picture, I don't know, I can't see it. Trigger control, looks pretty smooth, but maybe, let me just do some drills, and then follow through. And then I'm gonna pull out some orange snap caps, I'm gonna sneak them in, you're gonna go boom, 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 and then you're gonna do that. And I'm gonna go at your trigger control, right? So I probably knew it probably coming in here, but I'm saying with those snap caps in this card, you could have done it. But I like hanging out with you and I like money, so we can do it this way too. So whatever. So that just means that if you get that and you understand this, it'll never change ever. And if there's a reason why the dude next to you is shooting better than you, it's on this card, right? So we go back to the fundamentals and we go, what am I doing wrong? As he described them, I know that posture is a natural point of aim. I know that grip is nice and solid. I bring that gun up, collapse around that gun, finger up and out of the trigger guard, exhale fully, called natural respiratory pause. That's from sniper school. Get all your air out of you. Hit the bottom, and you got 3 to 5 seconds before you start getting the shakes and blurry vision. So, pow, right? On the sight alignment, what's the difference between sight alignment and sight picture? I say aim, just aim at the floor, okay? Line up your sights, equal height, equal light, just get them all lined up, right? That's called sight alignment. So then what's sight picture? You got sight alignment means aligned sights. And I go, put them on the floor. They go, lined on the floor. Put them on the ceiling, lined on the ceiling. Put them over there, put them over there. Now put them on the target. As soon as they go on the target, exactly, I said, actually with blue guns, I said, aim at my nose. Aim at my nose. That's sight picture. What? It's sight alignment plus the target. So if I have sight alignment perfectly aligned on the target, now it's sight picture. So sight picture, leading to the next one, trigger control. You're only going to put pressure exactly rearward, not pulling it off, exactly rearward on what? Perfect sight picture. And incrementally. And if you can see my finger, it means this. Are my sights perfect? Yes. How about now? Yes. I mean, you moving it barely, not even, a 1/4 of an inch. Yes. How about now? Bang, and the gun goes off, right? You're easing into it to find that. And people say, oh, you mean a surprise break? I'm like, no, a surprise break comes in the living room, right? Boom, holy, whatever. That's a surprise. It's not a surprise. When you hit that wall and you ease through it, you know why it's not a surprise? Because you flinched. You know why you flinched? Because you knew where it was. right? That's not a surprise break, so I don't really like the term surprise break. I just say stop doing it, right? You're going to be so focused on your sights and on your finger incrementally moving, saying, are my sights perfect? Yes. How about now? Yes. You're so focused on that, you're not even worried about when it goes bang. Then when it goes bang, it's a bullseye. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about trigger control. By the way, easier said than done. It's the biggest thing in shooting is this thing. People go, relax, do what's natural. There's nothing natural about an explosion in your hand, right? It's ignition, I get it, but it just means boom! The noise and energy affects people, right? And it affects people differently. So we got some drills to get you to stop thinking about that. And I just did it today. Guy from the UK, he never shot a gun before. He's like, maybe a revolver one time, and he's like, I'm kind of freaking out. He was like, he's a big dude, and he's like, man, my chest is tightening up. I'm kind of freaking out because there's this mystery of the unknowns, right? Yeah. Hey, brother, relax. And then the first shot, pow. Second shot, almost touching it. Third shot, headshot, faster, pop, 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 pop. He's like, dude, this is, whatever. Huge. This is a tool, and there's rules. That's it. And if you understand the rules, it's very, very safe. And if you don't, it's very, very dangerous, right? So that's trigger control. Nice and easy. Gun goes bang, pow. Finger out. 1001 is follow through. You do the 1001 to let the gun cycle, settle back on target, and ask yourself, do I need to shoot again? No, looks like it did the trick. Cool. Now it's time to come back towards your center line, separate left and right, and holster. And all of that is done without breaking the rules. Okay, very important thing I want to point out, because I see this in the industry, and I want to do you a favor. Actually, I apologize in advance, is I'm going to ruin every movie you've ever seen right now. Okay? It's like, you're going to go back and be like, wait a minute, John Wick did this. Wait a minute, John Wayne did this. Wait a minute, it's like, roger that. I'm just saying, if you know what is the truth, then you know what's a lie, right? You know what's dangerous for your kids. So let's go back to just rule number one. We talked about muzzle discipline, finger discipline, past their potential, right? But within muzzle discipline, there's 3 more rules. It's not on the card. I want to explain them to you because this is a game changer, right? Muzzle discipline, the first rule in muzzle discipline would be, again, these have been cleared, there's a laser, there's a lightsaber laser coming out of this gun. Wherever I move it, there's a lightsaber laser, and I'm not even going to do it, but if I had that gun and I went like this, okay, this gun is a Glock 19. You're going to use your imagination, and my fingers fall to the floor. Why? Because I just broke a rule. That muzzle discipline rule, the lightsaber laser rule, you just broke it. If I said, hey man, try mine, and I point at your face, you should be very uncomfortable. If I turn it around and point at mine, see that little lightsaber sound? It's cooking meat, right? You should see that, feel it, and say, brother, you just lost credibility on the trustability thing, right? So they're like, nah, whatever. That's the first rule of just muzzle discipline. What's the second one? It's called perpendicular plane. If I've got that pistol right here, imagine that there's a perpendicular plane when I'm close to the gun and I can't break it, right? Usually it's broken like this. I'm at the range, I go to pick up my mag, and the dude yells at me. Why? Because you're breaking the rules, man. You're breaking the perpendicular plane, and you might blow your hand off. And why is the guy mad? Because he's seen somebody blow their hand off, right? And he's going to get in trouble and get fired, right? So it's like, and save your fingers, right? So make sure that you understand that up close is a perpendicular plane. When you get further out, there's another rule, and it's absolutely necessary for tactics, and we call it the tactical cone. Tactical cone means imagine a road cone coming out of that muzzle 45 degrees in every direction, right? So right there, it's at 45 degrees. This would be 0, this would be 90, so that would be 45, half of that, right? It means if I go to holster and my arm's out here in a defensive, offensive, defensive posture, it can't be here, that's inside of 45, it's got to be here. Then holster. Let's go more tactical. I'm trying to get to a downed officer. Me and my buddy are maneuvering tactically to get up there, flank the dude, shoot him so we can save our buddy, right? Or just get up there and cover each other so we can pull our buddy to safety. If there's a line on the ground, if it was only perpendicular plane, we can't go get him. It's just not safe. Tactical cone says, if I'm aiming this way, you get to come up forward, but don't go into my 45, then set a base. I stop shooting, you start shooting. When the guy gets at when you shoot at me. 1, you're keeping heads down. 2, you're dropping dudes. And 3, you're drawing attention to you. That allows me to move up, but not past your 45. Not past your 45. We do that in 3 plays, that dude loses. Why? Because we just flanked him and we win. There's nowhere to hide. Brian comes up on the right, got an angle on the guy, pushes him out this way. Now Jimmy's got him. This thing's over. Now we grab our buddy and we get him out of there, right? So this is all this is already in existence. But then you see clearances, you do tactics and all that, and people are blowing my, if you do this, call me, you're not safe. Wait, according, not my rules, the rules. It's called SULS, Jimmy, you're behind the times. Right, if you want to shoot your femoral artery, go big, but I just disagree. temple index, you're wrong. You're wrong. You made that up because you're lazy and you're wrong, right? So if you want to know how to really do this and not break the rules, is that aggressive?
No.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Man, just don't do it. There's a dude that blew off a testicle, man. That's not funny stuff, right? No. Doing this stuff and not recognizing these simple rules. So learn how to do this, because the rest of us are gonna pay for your mistakes because you don't know what you're doing, and they're gonna blame it on these guns. And they're gonna blame it on this and blame it on that, and now I can't defend my kids properly because you dabbled in a thing that's life and death. And you did it irresponsibly, and then you blew off a testicle. Not cool, right? I'm done having kids, but I've kind of become attached to them, right? So I'm just gonna, whatever. It's like, I'd just rather keep them, right? So I don't condone that. So anyways, guys, brother, you live this. I say we make subject matter experts. What say you, brother?
It is wonderful to see all this in front and presented, going down the list in my head. Okay, need to tighten that one up. I got 4 days left.
Yeah.
But I do have to laugh. I replaced the batteries of my thing on the ceiling. Now it won't stop beeping.
Stop. With the new ones?
Yeah.
Really?
So
Oh, you know what? Those things die.
Yeah.
So there's
They
a
have a
shelf
life
life, and they
expectancy.
need to go in the trash.
Yep.
Right. So I found that out, and I was looking at one of them, and it's like, hey, this thing's. And then I think it was my firefighter buddy who told me, he's like, yeah, man, those things, they're no more good, man.
5 years,
Chunk it.
I think, was this particular
Yeah,
one.
well, good, and now you know,
Now I
right?
know.
So now you won't, die in a fiery death because you just need to run to Walmart real quick, right? So,
I got that going for
yeah,
me.
yeah. And some of this stuff, like I said, it was kind of a gift, meaning the power went out. I think I told you 144 families in my neighborhood, because I looked it up. You can look that stuff up now, and they're like, hey, this is going to be off for a while. And it was ours. And it kind of threw the family into this little funk, like it scared them. Because, I'm flipping the switch, and it's not happening. And usually it's a blink. And I mean, we just live in the lap of luxury, right? We're ultra rich globally, and we expect that power to be back on in minutes. Well, it was out for hours. And now something as simple as like, Rachel wanted to take a shower, so she didn't want to sit there and burn a light and a battery and then get hot and all this. She wanted a candle. I'm like, the thing! And I go and get one of those survival candles, Sterno 100-hour candles. They're liquid, whatever, the wax, whatever. And then brought it up there. She's like, that's enough, it's plenty, right? Perfect. But it was a weird little reminder that just how fragile all this really is, right? And how complex that is. I mean, when you see the jank overseas and there's wires everywhere and everybody they don't do it right, they just do more like that. And it's a death trap. But it's very, very reliable here. But then when there is a little blip in the matrix and all of a sudden some convenience goes off, it affects people. And they were like, and now it's the end of the day, so the phones are dead. So how do I charge my phone? Well, I don't have an alarm. All this other stuff. And now we're literally going out and trying to find power cells to plug them in and do all that. And I'd put it in the truck and leave the truck running. And like, it's crazy where we've landed on this. Yeah. But I like white noise. How am I going to sleep without white noise? What about my fan? It's like,
open the window.
If you can't sleep, Perry Saul's going to laugh. If you can't sleep, you're not tired enough.
Yeah.
That's the deal. It's like, start cranking out some push-ups or something, but if you can't sleep, you're not tired enough, so start working. What else?
For me, I was thinking about the water. We spent some time in Turkey. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., they turned off water.
Really?
So we had to fill up a garbage can, like a 50-gallon garbage can, to cook lunch, to flush the toilet.
Oh, yeah, you're done, huh?
There are no showers during the day.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
And that's the thing, like even considering having wood, so some people have, well, I got a pellet stove. Let's run by an electric auger. It's like that's, if the power's out, and man, this is a favor, not a favor, I don't like favors, solid. We'll do you solid right now, it's the right thing to do, is we're in a time right now, when you hear this, where you can get things.
Yeah, it's still available.
I believe, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, this year we're going to go in a time where you can't get things, and people get really, really scared. Again, that survivalist round, it wouldn't be a bad idea to pick up a 22. They don't cost much at all. The rounds don't cost much at all. 7 to 9 cents per round, which is extremely low. And now there's something. Again, I'd go here 1 and 2, but if you got that covered, I'd go number 3. Why? Because you can get it, right? The wait times, I've heard, did I hear, is it 8 days, 8 hours? It's very quick. It used to be like 10 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Parker got one, I think, next day. So whatever they fixed in their already corrupt system, right, to where you pay them money to pay a tax to buy a thing that you should rightfully get, right? It used to be so long, and now they're coming. Boom. So they've got them. Fingerprints, do the thing, and then you've got it. So putting that system together, I let my nephew shoot one. He's like, can I buy this right now? Nah, it's not for sale, because it takes a minute, and it's a controlled item, so we couldn't do it. But well, we can help you get this stuff set up, right? So it's like I said, we don't directly sell. This is more of like a public service announcement for, National Preparedness Month, but we can take care of you. We do the I call it concierge, because a lot of people have questions, and they'd rather you just take care of it because they trust you. Set everything up with all the little upgrades and all that stuff. Show them why, teach them how, make sure they're safe, and then we value that trust and we don't violate it, right? There's no future in violating people's trust, so we don't sell garbage.
Nope.
Cool. All right, guys. So if you got any question about this, we call this the 3 and 7 card. 3 safety rules, 7 fundamentals of marksmanship. It really couldn't be easier. This is called the 2 and 10 card. This is your preparedness stuff at a minimum. This is the thing right here, man. This is your tribe. This is your people. This is your trusted folks. If you don't have this, I say if things go south, if you don't have this, you're done already. You need people. It's always the first thing. Your first and best investment will always be in people. All right, so praying to God we never need this stuff, but we got it just in case. We watch confidence rise up. When people walk in scared, they leave capable, and I like that. I really like adding value to people, and so do all my guys. And like it says right on that thing over there, I was talking to a guy the other day, you will never be great at this if you don't care about people. So take care of one another. So God bless each and every one of you. Love y'all. Take care of one another. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us again for another episode. Please be sure to follow us and support us on all of the social media. That's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. All of that starts by visiting ableshepherd.com.